10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Silver Squad? Welcome back for another breakdown of From on MGM. Today we're going to be talking about Season 3, Episode 8, Threshold. We have a lot to say. We talked a little bit behind the scenes, and we decided to save some of that because we have some things we're going to address. But before we begin, as always, I want to let my panel introduce themselves, and we'll just get started. Desiree, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I like this episode this time around, so can't wait to get into it.
Yep. And Dr. J, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm excited to talk about it. I think we finally get a little bit of answers. So,
yeah. And we have a new panelist joining us this week, Gerald from G Saw That. How are you doing, man? How did you like the episode?
I'm doing well. Answers are unraveling pretty good. So I'm there. I still got a lot more questions, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, same here. I did enjoy the episode. We did get a little bit more, of a solid answer on some things, some questions that people have been asking for, since the last season. We finally got a little peek into. We didn't get everything, but the pieces are slowly coming together. But overall, I definitely enjoyed the episode. One answer that we did finally get is we got a little bit more insight into Jasper and who he is. And Jasper.
The
Okay, my brain.
Wait, I was like, who?
I saw Victor, Sarah, and Tabitha, and it threw me off. And I'm like, well, where does Jasper come in? And it didn't. Okay.
Oh.
Take two. All right. Yeah. So we got a little bit more insight into Jasper. I didn't see that coming. Honestly, that was kind of a twist. And what it did for me is this whole series, Victor has been the narrator in a sense of everything that's going on, and he's been a reliable narrator. But now what we're learning is Victor's memory is not reliable, so that kind of changes how we receive the information that Victor gives us. So, Dr. J, what did you think of that?
And I felt like this whole time we thought Victor was like the plug of knowledge from Bill, and we're like, he's not even the plug at all. He's more like I don't know what to believe with Victor, because I'm like, maybe it's adding up of why we're always like, why don't people talk to Victor? Why don't they ask Victor? Maybe they knew Victor is a little spacey with information, why they won't talk to Victor. Because as this episode for me was unraveling, I was really into it. I was like, Jasper about to tell us a story. We in this basement. Jasper's about to start talking. Then when Victor starts unwrapping the story, and he was like, wait, it was a boy in white. Wait, Jasper didn't say anything. I'm like, Victor, how do you get that mixed up? So I don't know. I want to say maybe it's the trauma from being there. He's forgot certain things because he's had a lot of significant events happen, losing his entire family essentially. So maybe it's the trauma, but I really was believing in Victor. Now I'm thinking back to season 1, were the trees really moving? Or season 2, were the trees really moving, or did you forget? Did it never snow in Fromville, or you just didn't remember the coldest winter ever? How do you know?
Yeah.
So. That's a good point. That's a good point. And I remember mentioning last week about him not necessarily being a reliable storyteller. And I think that this episode definitely confirmed that. It took Tabitha and Sarah having to take him to the basement of the church for him to remember exactly the situation as it was with Christopher and Jasper. And so I think we got some answers in there. There's still a lot more that I want to know, but I'll just kind of leave it be for now.
Yeah. So I kind of had this thought about, just maybe wondering how much time he's really spent there, and what that looks like, to his own memory. Because if he's when he was seeking out that the doll or Jasper, when he was seeking him out, he was basically everything's gonna make sense once we get him to start telling us what's going on. And then he was focused on like, the voice isn't right. You're not saying it right. You're not doing. And I was just like, bro, like, just let it play out. Like, I was struggling with it because I was like, dude, like, you already look real suspect here. Why are you not like, like you won't go with it because he's like, you're not saying it right. Oh, you're messing it up.
No, Victor was on 10, man, and I don't understand. And I get it, but it's like, okay, so going back to what he said, something where he said, like, the pictures don't. Draw pictures so I don't have to remember, but he didn't draw a picture of that, so he didn't remember. So basically, this is your fault, and now you're trying to yell at everybody else because you didn't draw a picture.
Yeah, Sarah was like, okay.
And to talk to Sarah, listen, y'all know how I feel about Sarah bodies. Somebody that got bodies like that, no.
Ooh, it was only like, is she gonna snap? Like,
listen, Sarah bodies, the streets calling her.
Listen, I don't like how they try to crucify my girl Sarah though. Like, Donna was about to come for Sarah's neck. Okay, she was like, we about to march up to Sarah, figure out what happened to Tilly, figure out all this type of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, should we get into that already? Because I feel like we're gonna bring it brings in Boyd and all those other aspects.
Well, I'll say this, like, with Sarah. I mean, with Donna, talking about Sarah, I understand where she's coming from in a sense with, like, no, she's killed somebody before, so she probably did it. So it's like you kind of have to go by the information you already have, and it's that, Sarah's a killer, cold-blooded,
Yeah, they know her. She's known for that, unfortunately. Yes, this time she didn't do it.
Yeah, this time
she didn't do it. I don't know. I'm curious to see how now. I mean, Boyd revealing who actually did it, which I didn't think that would happen in the same, episode.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're here, it's like, I don't know. It put Donna in a tough spot. She's been loyal to Boyd all this time. Now she's like, don't make me tell the people who actually, murdered Tilly.
And I hope we don't forget later, but I don't really think Boyd had a choice. And the reason I say that is because at this point, it lines up with what she said to him, basically, like, bro, they're not rocking with you anymore. Yeah. So I think at this point he feels like, listen, I need somebody else to unburden myself with this, because if I just keep holding it, I'm gonna snap. Because he was at his breaking point a couple times. I mean, when my man went out there and decided, hey, I'm gonna just risk it all, 2 episodes ago, I was like, oh, he's done for. And then, so I just hope we can get back to that point, because it made sense to me why he would have just go ahead and say it.
Yeah. But I didn't think Doc was a tattletale, though. It was like, dang, can you give me a chance before you go tattletale?
You know what, though? I think Donna, in a way, is kind of tired of Boyd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that other point with that is that I think that Donna's tired of, like, them being the burden bearers for everything, and they have to hold these secrets. She was holding down the house when that bus showed up. She was holding down the house when they tried to have that little low-key uprising. She was like, bro, I'll have to go ahead and bust off on you if you think you're about to leave. You're not leaving in the middle of the night, So it was. I felt her trying to say that to him, but it was one of those things where, Boyd has been in a position of, power, if you will, for so long. It's just kind of run its course with her. And she's come to too many, near-death experiences dealing with all this, backstabbing, so I don't know. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, I was going to say, I agree. I think it's time for a new administration to step in Frontville. Somebody else got to take over.
Too soon.
But I feel like, Boyd had to say something, because if he didn't say something, they was going to march on Sarah. Yeah. And Boyd, he not loyal for real, because, I will never let go. He left Randall. He's not super loyal, but he is loyal to the people who he feels like he could owe loyalty to.
Exactly.
So I feel like he was kind of pushed to it because she was just like, listen, we ready to march down with the torches and all to Sarah's house to ask her what's up. And Boyd was just kind of like, it was Fatima. And you could see Donna's face. Donna was like anybody else but her, because she's a likable character. Fatima's been a likable character.
Yeah.
But I feel like Donna knew it was going to come, because in the last episode, Donna was like, well, now that she having all these strange symptoms, where's she going to stay at? Where's she going to live?
Yeah, Donna, and I think that speaks to what y'all was saying about Donna is just ready to, not ready, but like she's tired. You know, it's very taxing being a leader, and I feel like the weight of that, you know, was once shared with Boyd, but now that they don't, and she even said it, they don't believe in you. Like when you tell them this, like they ate what happened to Sarah, they swallowed that because they had no choice or whatever. Like, and they did it because they believed in you. Now they don't believe in you. So what are you gonna do now? You know, you got Sarah walking around with teardrops on her face, killing people. Now you got Fatima killing people too. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And so remind me, I'm just making sure I remember correctly. Randall tied Donna up, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's where Donna was done. Like, hey, listen, my man just decided he was gonna do, like, I think that's where everything changed for her, because he was like, look, I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah. She was like, she's just trying to get information, you know? And so I don't know that that's a big indictment on, I don't feel like it's a big indictment on Boyd, because, you know, them sharing that role, and then she's being put in a place where she was basically just a pawn. As far as at that point, she kind of lost her power and being like forced into, you know, just being a regular old person. She's kind of saying, okay, I need to decide where my loyalty is going to lie. And it's probably going to lie with the people, because Boyd's just one person. Yeah. You know?
Right. Yeah. It's like the Walking Dead effect when people turn against people.
Yeah.
We're literally turning against people. Only in this situation, I do see where Boyd, you know, has to be loyal to his son and Fatima to an extent. But Donna is right. You have a whole town. Remember, you put somebody in the box when it barely was his fault.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. Because he could have let that slide. The man was drunk. The kid opened the door, the window. That really wasn't his fault.
That kid.
We should have known. Now let's be real. We drag Ethan for doing the same thing.
Ethan do too much.
Like, come on. Are they gonna put Tabitha in a box if Ethan opened the door and somebody died?
I mean, right?
But see, that's why Boyd picks and chooses. That's what I mean. Like, if it was Tabitha, he gonna be like, she just got back, you know, her mind not together. But let it be again, Randall would be in the box. Like, he would pull him out the ICU and put him in the box.
Put him in the box.
I mean,
like here's the thing, and I don't want to get technical because, you know, it's a show. People say Boyd should be loyal to Fatima. I don't remember any other ordained ministers in Frumville after Father Katri died, right? So are they really married by law of Frumville?
They're married in their hearts.
So I'm like, your loyalty to Fatima, I guess, because Ellis loves her. But I'm like, you already know she's a problem. You already know it's going to be a problem because we don't have any answers about her, right? And I hope we do get like the answers, like what's really going on with her. But like I don't think you could protect the people from that. I'm like, I feel like, and the thing, I think with Fatima, it's a double-ended sword. If you let the people know what's going on with her, they're going to be like, whoa, I don't want to be near her. I feel like we might be in danger around her. Mm-hmm. But if you don't let them know what's going on, it's going to be like a rebellion. So.
And once that information gets out there, you can't take that back. You know, once Fatima killed, you know, Tilly, you can't be like, oh, psych, you know, or let's figure it out. It's the information's out there. You can't stop it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I still think there's something going on with Tilly, even though she's gone. I know she saw that moment coming. I just have a feeling because she wouldn't have said it.
That's a great point. I thought that they were dropping too many clues, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then the fact that she said, run. She basically told him to run. So it wasn't like, what did you do? I can't believe you did that. It was, hey, you need to get out of here. Because she got that connection soon as she sensed that she was pregnant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows if it was on that tarot card she pulled out.
Yeah.
We never found out, right? Yeah,
No,
we never found out. Because the bird.
We'll never know.
Because the bird smashed through the window, then it's like end scene, and we never found out.
Yeah.
When Bacta chewed her out for having them tarot cards, that she ain't never picked them up again.
It was the death card. I don't know.
Maybe if the damn bird really played a tarot card, we might have a chance to see what's up. Yeah, we will never know.
But I think a bird hit once, then it came through, because before she flipped it, I think they heard it and they looked. And then when she flipped it, that's when it came all the way through. So it might have been warning her, like, don't flip that card, because I was like, that was interesting, because they both looked at the window, and then right when she flipped it, it came through. So.
But I think that's why Donna is so irritated, because, like, damn, can we have one day without y'all doing something? Like, every day y'all are doing something, and having to be the leader of that combined with living with Dale, the constant colony house orgies, it's a lot. It's a lot.
The colony house.
It's a lot.
We need a behind the scenes on that one.
Colony house after dark. I'm like, how do you have the time? I don't get it.
No.
Tilly did say that she was worried about Fatima and not Nancy, right? Wait. Nancy. Who was Nancy?
Yeah, remind me who Nancy is?
Peeking through that was the girl who was peeking through the blinds,
Nikki.
right?
That was Nikki.
Wait, who's Nancy?
I don't know. Am I missing something?
Shayna.
Yeah, Shayna, let us know.
Like, cliffhanger, new character unlocked. Nancy.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was that the girl? No.
Was she the one that ended up dying? That Fatima was.
That was
Nancy.
Nikki.
That's Nikki.
Oh, okay.
Nancy, the government name. We get it. It's okay.
Whatever her name was.
I love that.
If she's gone, it don't matter. Nancy, Nikki.
I love this. Oh my god!
I was like, she had us perplexed. We was like, wait. We going through the roster.
I was going through my notes. Like, did we miss a character?
Right, I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, maybe Nancy's the one that always be in the kitchen cutting up the beef. I was like, no, maybe that's not.
Gosh, there's a lot of moving pieces to this season. I think this episode actually helped clarify a lot. Just going back to the story of what was actually happening with the group of children being murdered by their loved ones. Do you guys think like their loved ones were their parents? Because that's what I was kind of thinking.
Well, let me see, because what did I have it written down somewhere exactly what Victor said. You talking about when they revealed, like, when it was like he said the answers to the end are, God, get it together. I can read y'all, I promise. He said the answers to the end are at the beginning. It started with children and what the others did to them, the people they loved, the people they trusted. They were born in the dark and they were murdered in the dark. But someone who loved them told them a story that gave them hope. And when the children laid on the stones, they poured their hope into the roots to make the symbol, and the roots became the trees.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm thinking the children were the Unkui kids. Their parents were probably the ones who murdered them.
Yeah.
Nikki, Nancy, same thing. I can't. And the entity, I think, got to them by telling them the story of hope. I remember I mentioned something about hope either last week or the week before.
Yeah.
That's what I think it was Boyd's wife. Actually, she said something about hope, that hope is what makes you willing to suffer.
Yeah.
I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, that leave for me. That just left a lot to. I was like, that's a lot to try to figure out, because what situation would put you in that much despair where you'd be willing to off your own kids? You know, like what would be going on that deep? Because that's why I struggled with that because like it just seemed that would seem like you just have to be sick, real sick, like some bad stuff had to be happening, and then somebody have to just come out and say, look, I had this dream or whatever happened that said we got to do this, you know. And for them kids to keep asking for help and asking for help and asking for help over and over, I think that's where there's a couple things missing that don't connect, you know, for me.
So who sacrificed the kids?
That's what I'm saying.
Was it the monsters?
I think kind of like what happened with Sarah, how the whole when she started hearing those voices saying, you need to kill, you need to do this, you need to do this. I think some people started having those, you know, those little premonitions. And that's where that came because it was basically like, you know, obviously something started happening to something that was causing them to say, we need to do this.
Yeah.
You know? Because I would struggle to believe that a parent just, I mean, I've had times where I wanted to like go and send my kids back. But it wasn't because, so it was because I just got tired of saying the same stuff over and over. But I didn't wake up and say, oh, you know, so that's why I struggle with that.
So it's like, there's nothing that could make me sacrifice a child. Like what? Like who? And the fact that multiple people had to have agreed with this in order for it to happen. So let's talk about the magic of it all. So whatever happened during that sacrifice was supernatural, obviously, and it caused them. So piecing it together without my brain that has already seen, because I've already seen everything. So I'm trying to put it together without giving it away for like the next couple of episodes. Never mind, I can't do it.
You're just gonna sit this one out then, huh?
I'll save it. I'll save it for the finale. Now
you think Julie the time could see who sacrificed the kids? Possibly.
That's out. I think that's out of her pay grade. I don't think Julie's like a 3-eyed raven or anything like that. I don't think she's gonna be able to see who sacrificed the kids. But I think that's a pay grade above her because you know she's new to it.
Yeah. She's not an Omega level mutant just yet.
She may not have to be though, because maybe the idea of her just being able to even accidentally dip her toe into the water may give her a glimpse of something that she may not understand. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. It's rough trying to figure out some of these pieces because a lot of what has been happening lately, now it's branched off and you're getting like little bits of, you know, like I'm telling you, my man with the Polaroid is like that part's freaking me out because it's like you got technology tied into it, and he's following a blueprint that nobody's thinking about. You know,
yeah.
So
yeah,
Elgin is a whole nother story. It's so much to unpack with him. I get why they left his scene until the end of the episode because I was at the end of the episode like, who baby? Elgin, what's up with you? I was like, what you mean she's not pregnant? And I even said it to RJ. I said, wait, Elgin pregnant? Like, is he a woman? Like, who is pregnant? Like, I feel like there's so much to unpack, and I feel like Elgin's character, why there's so much to unpack, because he's kind of like the dark horse a little bit. Like he was like, yes, Elgin, give us nothing. Then he gave us something out of nowhere, because he gave us nothing for almost 3 seasons. Literally gave us nothing. And now it's like it never showed us the scene where like the Kamano lady is actually speaking to him and telling him factual information, but it shows us like cut scenes of him finding a body, donating blood in Fromville, or giving himself a blood, or setting up a blood transfusion, whatever he got going on. And then it's another cut scene of him getting Fatima. I didn't even know Elgin was a good liar like that. When he said, no, Ella's down there. I was like,
oh yeah.
It was kind of convincing.
Okay, so it wasn't believing to me. It wasn't believable to me. I was kind of like, bro, he's shooting from the hip. She's dehydrated. She's struggling. She was listening, but she was kind of like, what? Okay, but
oh no, I'm not gonna lie. The lie would have got me. I would have been like, oh, okay, he's in the basement.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure she didn't think that he would have a reason to lie. He's kind of trusting amongst them, I guess.
He's given us nothing. Like, he's literally done nothing. Like, that's too abnormal. He didn't even come to the town hall meeting. He's so unbothered until he came up. He started becoming an entrepreneur as a town photographer. Like, he was so unbothered with everything. So I feel like Elgin was also the perfect character to be in that role, because he's the least suspecting. Like, he's just like, listen, I was on the way to see my grandma, or was it to see his grandma, or on the way from his grandma on the bus? Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was one of them. And then he's just like kicking it, like, listen, I don't know what's going on. I got to get my naps in. I don't talk to nobody. I don't tell nobody nothing. So I feel like he was the right character because he's unsuspecting. Because imagine it being Randall trying to pull her into the thing. She's going to be like,
yeah, no. She ain't nowhere with him.
Smelly Cat has a good point. Like, Elgin didn't give Kimono Woman no kind of pushback. It was like, okay, want me to kidnap somebody, take my own blood? Yeah, sure. This all makes sense. And I get it. I don't know.
I think his blood is gonna come in handy some kind of way, though, because there's absolutely positively no reason for him to do that if it didn't have a purpose. It just and I think the fact that they had already kind of laid that foundation with Fatima doing the stuff she was doing with her fingers, that kind of set the groundwork for me. And I think they kind of lined it up a certain way, you know? And so...
Yeah, it makes sense what you said. I think her being, well, now we know she likes she likes blood.
Right.
Maybe it's not her per se, but maybe it's whatever's inside of her. She's feeding that thing blood. Elgin is giving up his blood to feed that very same thing.
And I think he has a universal blood type. So... that might be one of those.
I really want
that might be one of those things. Well, because you listen, I've watched too much television. You gonna say that?
Oh my! I'm like, wait, how you know he's O positive or O negative?
That's
the only way it could work if you're giving your blood.
I mean, I don't think people just randomly do stuff, even though he's getting those breadcrumbs from the pictures. And like, again, his character is very unassuming, and I think it just lines up too much. I've watched too much television, too many hours, and I think that's you know.
And it's kind of weird for him to be giving up his blood like that so willingly. He must really believe this kimono lady, because remember last season he has a thing with blood. He said it himself. Just does not like blood. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. He said he didn't like blood. Yeah. He didn't. He doesn't do well around blood.
He doesn't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he took it like stuck that thing in, was just letting it drain.
Yeah, but maybe it's like one of them things where, like, once you have set your mind that it's just a certain thing, it's some telling you something, and it's just lining up for you. Like you said, he's not giving any pushback.
Yeah. So
maybe he's just, hey, F it, I'm gonna just go with it. You know, I don't know. It's weird. He's literally like.
Well, Shayna's had a good point. She did try to drown his ass, so he probably not about to question nothing she said at this point.
That's so true, Shayna. But the weird thing about it was that he was kind of, in a way, I don't know if you guys noticed, he seemed a bit enthusiastic when it came to dragging Fatima and back into that, dungeon or whatever it was. He didn't seem like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. He was kind of like,
you have to,
okay.
right? You
I'm
have
sorry.
to.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And then he finally said, I'm sorry. Right when he yanked her leg, he was like, well, I'm sorry. Come on down,
It was kind of unusual behavior. He was still kind of like positive in a way.
You know what? You know what? It is kind of, again, he's giving us nothing, so I think everything's unusual for me when it comes to Elgin. I'm like, but you're right. You're right. It's like he did only apologize when he was about to get kind of rough. Like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
it went from playful kidnapping to get in there. Like,
I'm so sorry. I'm about to yank your hip out of socket, but it's cool.
Yeah.
So
that was so
question.
weird.
Do you think? So I think it was Shayna that said it. So do you think Kamana Lady really didn't give him a choice? So she's like, "Yo, this is what you got to do, or you gonna end up like the body down there. So get her in this room." Like maybe she didn't give him a choice, and then he was just like, and then she might have, yeah, she might have been like,
an option when
she tried to drown him. She tried to drown him. He's like,
that's like Shayna said, like either you do it on the sale. This is what's gonna happen. That was a warning. That was like, hey, this is what I'm capable of. You're gonna pick these, get these Polaroid camera. You're gonna see what you're supposed to do, and you're gonna do it. That's it.
And then she said, "It's not," or I'm sorry, Elgin said, "It's not your baby."
Correct. That was pretty. Yeah. That was pretty freaky.
Like what?
That threw me off.
Well, that's what first she said. She was like, "But I'm not pregnant." And he was like, "Yeah, you are, and it's not your baby." So
be wait. Talk to her. Bobby's about to kill the whole.
Tired of the cliffhangers. Yeah.
Whatever's in Fatima is not good. That's not no regular baby. I don't care what nobody say. That's not a regular baby.
No, not.
I don't foresee anything good coming from this. No.
Do you think it could be like a mythical name, like a new life coming, a new birth in Frumville could free all the people or something like that? Because, you know, in some of those like sci-fi shows, it's like when you put like a new birth, something's supposed to happen. Like if you even think of like a show like Lost, they didn't want her to have that baby because of a new birth. So I'm like, I wonder if it's some type of... I'm sorry.
You know, you might be onto something because remember Martin had mentioned, and I'm glad we got to see him again when Julie revisited the dungeon. He had mentioned that there was worse creatures than the creatures they had been experiencing. He mentioned that to Boyd. I wonder if that baby's going to be one of them.
Well, how bad can you get?
Never say that.
So when he said that, I was like, what?
It can always be worse. Like, yeah, it can always be worse.
Yeah, he did say there were worse creatures there.
A whole village was cleared out. We still don't have answers for that. Yeah. And that village still looks like a separate part from Frumville. Like they was their own, like that was the reservation. That was the reservation. And they like cleared out the reservation.
Right. Shayna, I can't. I was thinking about Alien too. And now if there's going to be an alien, there has to be a predator, okay? There has to be a predator. They need to leave Sarah alone.
Listen, I'm not talking back to Sarah. I will make Sarah breakfast in bed every day. I'm not talking back. Like, whatever you want.
Oh Sarah's not that bad. I feel like Sarah was just a victim of Frumville. Like, I feel like, you know, she was wrongfully accused of something that she ain't had.
Clearly didn't.
Well, did she? Under duress, maybe.
Well, but that was the same.
Good lawyer.
Yeah, but that's the same thing Fatima started saying. She said she didn't have control of what she was doing.
Very true.
She basically was like, you know, outside of herself when it was happening. So, and Sarah basically had said like, well, I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. You know.
Yeah,
so,
there's a connection there.
I don't know. It's weird because there's some things that are happening that are starting to kind of peel back around to. I need to start reading the chat. There's some things that are kind of circling back to like the first couple seasons that that are really starting to kind of make me feel like there's some connection. I'm just afraid to feel too comfortable with it right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. Like for me, if we're talking connections, I think there's a connection between Fatima, Sarah, and Elgin, while there's also connection between Tabitha, Miranda, and Henry and Jim because of their family dynamic. Yeah. The fact that Jim and Henry relate because their fathers, you know, were drunks. There's clearly a connection between Tabitha and Miranda because they're essentially the chosen ones to help the children. Both of them are tasked to help these children. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I think the major difference why people view Sarah and Fatima differently is because think about how From was written. In the way they wrote From, they showed us Sarah's storyline from the beginning to the end. Like this happened because of this and this and this. But Fatima is kind of like from the end to the beginning. Like she's at the point that something is wrong, but we haven't gotten an opportunity to see the beginning. What caused this to be wrong? Like, was it the nightmares? Was it the ghost whispering in her right ear? Was it like what caused it? Like, did she jump into the pond one too many times and it was a special water? We didn't see.
You're right. Why was she chosen? Like, out of all
exactly
that are in there, why did they choose her?
I don't know. Maybe
the only reason I could think about is because she's the only one that fits the bill of somebody that could be pregnant. Because if Donna popped up pregnant, we'd be like, Donna.
You're like, what? Yeah.
It couldn't be Donna. It couldn't be Bacta. We know it ain't Jim and Tabby because they're not even into it like that.
They ain't touching each other right now.
So really the only woman I feel like on the show that's believable that would be pregnant would have to be Fatima. And that's because of her relationship with Ellis. Because who else? If Sarah popped up pregnant after she went into the woods with Boyd, people would have been questioning like what happened.
Yeah.
And Fatima.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And I was going to say, Fatima on the show is one of the only female characters that is, for lack of a better word, she's the only female character that's sexualized on the show. Like that shows like that side of her. There's almost no other female character on that show that even exposes that side of them. Think about it. Like who else but her?
They're really the only couple there because I don't really count Jim and Tabitha. They are just much to be a couple. So she really is the only one that would even have a possibility. Even though she said she couldn't conceive, she probably is the only one that is believable for that. Damn, now you got me thinking. Why was she chosen? Damn, another question that we're going to have to wait 2 seasons to get an answer for.
Just like Jesus chose Mary, I guess. I don't know.
Well, okay, that brings a good point then. So I forgot which one you said it, but the baby, this could be their, savior, Messiah, somebody to get them out of the town.
That's
it is immaculate conception, but through something probably dark. Or could it be something to do the opposite? Could be brought forth to destroy everybody.
Right, like midnight mass. I don't know why it's giving me midnight mass.
Like the baby's the final boss. Like these monsters ain't doing it. Let's bring in somebody new.
Let Ethan take care of it.
Oh gosh.
But I want to answer this question. I would Justin Timberlake just so I could see him not last.
Ooh. As a guest star.
Dang, bro.
That means there'll be in a couple more. It'll be in a couple episodes.
As you guys know, I had a beef with Mike Coulter. I don't even know why. I had a beef with Mike Coulter last year or whatever, but I've since changed my. I've redirected my anger and frustration towards Justin Timberlake. So Justin Timberlake.
I cannot. You and Mike Coulter. Anyway.
It was
like a lot of people, man.
It was beef.
Once upon a time, it was all kids. You ain't like no kids.
Kenny.
Yeah, he still got smoke with Kenny.
Yeah, I don't know. A celebrity guest star, that's a pretty big role. It's bigger than a reoccurring, bigger than a co-star. So they would have to have, this is a significant role. Oh, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Who would be worthy of a guest star role on From?
I want Hulk Hogan. And because he's gonna bring the problems. Like imagine a Hulk Hogan type dude in From. Like I feel like big for no reason, and he's gonna be off very quickly.
Nobody knows
how long Sarah and her brother or Fatima were.
They didn't say. They didn't. I don't think they said with Fatima.
She came with her sister though, right? And then she lost her sister?
No, Donna came with her sister.
Fatima came alone?
I don't know if there was much story on Fatima, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Okay, Mike was
in that.
Wait, are you why I liked it. I actually like that show.
Finale.
Oh,
Ooh, okay. But
yeah.
if she's a guest star,
This is a good one. Rick from The Walking Dead. That's a good one.
that would be
Yeah.
hilarious. If Rick,
Like, if we were doing an ultimate show mashup, I would bring Daryl Dixon. I'll bring Rick.
Oh,
Daryl
Like,
and
throw in
Randall.
Negan.
Ooh, they would go head to head. Daryl and Randall.
Randall versus Negan.
Ooh, I'm
Loser
Team
gets the
Negan.
box.
Then.
I'm 100% Team Negan.
Yeah, I'm Team Negan. Sorry, not sorry.
I like that. That was yeah. Walking Dead universe mashup.
That would be dope. That's what they need to do. Just mash up with other shows.
That would be a good one.
We still wouldn't
Yeah.
get no answers.
Yeah, well, you know.
But you know what? I'm okay with, like, don't get me wrong, I would definitely love to get these answers a lot sooner, but I think I'm appreciating the pace of the show. And also when I think about it, I feel like we're looking at the show like it's our mystery to solve.
Mhm.
And it's really not. We're just kind of watching it unfold. And I think I'm learning to appreciate it from that perspective now, as opposed to like looking at everything and, you know, trying to, oh, what's that in the background, or what's this in the opening title. So I think I'm starting to appreciate it more, but I do think that we got a crumb. We got a little crumb.
Look, they better get on, okay? Because I appreciated the pace in the beginning.
Yeah.
Look, don't.
Slow and steady. I feel
I'm
like
tired
they're
of slow and
doing
steady,
it
to be
slow.
honest. I'm so tired of it.
Here's the thing. We're on episode 8. I think there's 10 this season, right? 10 complete episodes. I feel like episode 10, I need an hour and 25 minutes. Like, I can't do that 49-minute mess for episode 10. I need an hour and 24 minutes, and I need it to be a banger. Like, you got to hit me with, like, going out the gate. You got to hit me with the answers.
Yes.
What
Like,
about
I
the
want to
white
know
words?
personally, like, Martin, how is he more familiar with Julie? He knew her name, but he didn't know Boyd.
Let's
How
talk
is
about
he?
that.
Yeah, he knew Abby's name too. There's a lot of things I actually want to know. I have a list. I just can't.
Is Martin someone is Martin his real name?
I seen that fan theory. Okay, I seen that theory in one of the From groups, and they were like, basically, Martin is supposed to be someone from the future. And it's supposed to be, they're saying it's Ethan. I don't know if it's Ethan, but they saying Martin is. I'm just telling you what I read. Okay, I'm just telling you what I read. So they're saying Martin is someone from the future, and he's like locked up there now as an adult. And the reason why he knows all these people's names is because it's his lived experience. And they said Martin isn't his real name, but he didn't want to scare Boyd when he came down there, so he used like a fake name. But this is just a fan theory I saw online.
That's
interesting.
It does make sense though, because now that we know time travel is like possible, and I already told you guys last week, I think this series is going to end like I think they're going to lose in the long run. They're going to lose, but Ethan is going to be the one left there. So he grows old, and he could be Martin.
That's interesting.
That's what the fan theory said. I felt like it was super spot on. I was like,
well, but
who wrote this?
That's actually, that doesn't sound completely out of the ballpark, because it was interesting that he disappeared, and when she came into there, and then he literally said her name.
Yeah.
And so like it was almost like the camera shot purposely had their hands together, and as she stepped forward, his hand disappeared. And then she just happened to come up on Old Man River.
The Old Man River. That's hilarious. I agree, Shayna.
Right. They did him dirty. Like, he done been through the ringer. If that's right. His hair not even the same color.
Right. You know what? That would be Jim's fault, because he should have worked harder, like Jade, to get them out of there.
Yep.
I was about to say, I feel like we haven't dragged Jim enough this episode.
Yeah, we are about to do that. Jim A.K. is the president to exist anywhere ever.
Sir, you are banned from the keyboard.
RJ, you were so unserious with that.
It's to anywhere ever for me. Like,
Look, Jade read that man for filth, and I was for it. Because what are you doing?
I loved it.
Yeah, he was just chilling, minding his business, trying to figure things out in Walt's gym. I have to talk to you. Like,
I'm like, if you don't leave your wife's side man alone, like leave Jade alone. Jade has done. You want to know what I liked about Jade reading him to filth? It's because Henry came after and read him to filth in a nice way. Right after he got a 1-2 punch. I was like, yes, because when Jim walked in there, you would think he owned that town. You would think him and Tabitha was good. You would think they wasn't just arguing and spoke up the them kids from the forest. Or where I'm like, he walked in there like, this is my girl. I don't know what you thought, but this is what it is. And Jade was like, whoa. Your girl that was just with me? We was just trying to fit like I want Jade and Tabby to be a thing. I want to be a thing. I do.
Thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna come next week with a Jade Loves Tabitha t-shirt on.
Left them kids again.
I cannot.
And he did. Jim isn't a father.
But didn't Jade have a boyfriend or a husband when he came there?
No, that was his friend. I feel like that was his friend. Yeah.
Okay.
They were
trying to remember how
welcome.
Okay. But yeah,
he
had
it coming though. That probably was the most satisfying thing to happen in the series so far. Had it coming a million miles away. Because even in the beginning, he said something to Tabitha that kind of like pissed me off. It was like he said something like, "Jade, has you convinced that you're the one that saved the kids? What happened to being a supportive husband?"
He was never that. He can't be something he never was.
I feel like he was never that. If you're jealous of Jade, just say that. Like Henry was right. I don't know, maybe listen to your wife every now and then. Like
Tamon, Jabitha or Tade? Which one do we like better, Jabitha or Tade?
Neither. I like Jade by himself. He don't need nobody holding him back. He don't need to be a stepdaddy to Ethan.
Jay can't be nobody's stepdaddy. We gotta draw the line somewhere.
No, he'll make a good stepfather. He's not. Jade is not.
He's not adopting them kids.
Tabitha will come home. She'll be like, "Where's Ethan?" He'll be like, "Oh,
Jade, he don't have the right temperament. My man would fly off the handle. Like, hey, if you don't sit your, hey,
he can't even handle Victor.
Nah.
Yeah, he's not hell. See, Jade, if Jade was Ethan's stepdad, when Ethan went out that door, Jade would have closed it.
Oh yeah.
And but he was like, it can't be both of us, so I guess it's just you tonight.
Story, yep. Listen, Jade is one of the people where he has the temperament to worry about himself. Like, and that's all that's all that's gonna happen with him. He's not gonna care about nobody that's not Jade.
Exactly. But and I do hope he's the one that's looking out too.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I did like that Jade said. No, Jim had said to Jade, like, you're trying to solve this puzzle, like you're the smartest person in the room. And he was like, so what?
Hey, that was the line right there.
Yes, like what's it to you?
He's like, what you expect? Like somebody gotta do
it. That's my thing. Like, what's it to you? That I am the smart, that you think that I think I'm the smartest. What's it to you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Nothing. Not robots. Yeah, that was needed. I think Jim needed somebody to really read him for filth. And I'm glad Jay didn't put up with any of his mess. If you have a problem, you talk to your wife about it. Period. Leave me out.
He can't talk to his wife. He don't got one.
That part.
No, but Henry telling him to shut the F up, like, chef's kiss. Like,
that was, yeah.
That's what you call older man wisdom right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he didn't need liquor, he didn't need liquor courage to do it.
Nope.
Oh, no, that's that old man speak right there. He just hit him with like,
Team Jade, yes. I need a shirt.
Who do y'all think would win in a fight? Jade or Jim, if it came down to it? Triple threat. Randall's in there too. They all fighting each other. Who
Oh my God.
Randall fight dirty.
Randall?
He gonna kick. Randall gonna count. Randall fight
First
dirty.
of all, Randall gonna take up the Hennessy bottle and smack somebody over the head. I already know Randall not playing no games.
Jade almost did it though. Jade almost did it to Henry. He's like, "Who's in here? Who are you?"
I love how he didn't react either. He was like, "I'm Victor's dad," and he was like, "Oh, okay." Like didn't want no explanation or nothing. Like, okay.
I love that scene though. Like when he said it's kind of like he's walking around, I'm Victor's dad. Like he's saying Victor's like the president of From. Like, yeah, I'm his dad. When he said it, Jade was so unbothered and nonchalant. I loved every second of it. Jade was just like,
he's like, "Oh, okay.
Why
you
here?"
Crazy guy, dad. Okay,
like,
yeah, that man said, "All right, anyway."
Right, went on right on back to business at the desk. Then that's when Jim walked in, and I love when he was like, "Yeah, sure, come right in." Like just.
Because that's his house technically, right? He lives in the bar.
Ever since Tom died, right?
Yeah.
That's why he kind of just walked out of there like, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere,
right? So, and I love the fact that Jade closed the door on Jim, even though he was outside the house. That was hilarious. Just closed it. Usually it works the opposite way, but
just stay inside, bro.
Just stay inside. He is ruthless. Randall. I agree. I don't trust
Randall.
Oh, he'd kill everybody if he had a chance.
Randall not fighting fair, and I love that for him. But I feel like you're gonna go into a fight and know Randall's gonna take up. If he's losing, I feel like Randall will be the type to get more aggressive and take up anything within his reach. Randall might just hold you, right? Randall might hold you outside until sundown just to win the fight.
Yeah.
That's true.
I remember when he was on that bus and they basically told him like, bro, like you're gonna see some stuff, and then he started tripping. He yelling and screaming at the entities outside. I'm like, bro, just lay down and relax.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned the bus, because as I was sitting there watching this episode with Jay, I was like, why not have, like, I get they want to have Boyd wants Fatima like out of sight, but I feel like that looks even more suspicious. I probably would have just put them on the bus, to be honest. Like, because where they were staying at, I'm like, that thing barely had any walls.
You talking about putting everybody back on the bus and like putting a talisman on there?
No, having Fatima and Ellis stay on the bus. And I know you wanted them to be out of sight, but where they were staying at was just so, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. Randall the type bus. 3 to 5 business. You guys with the jokes.
I'm telling you, like, I don't know. I maybe it's because I'm biased, but call me crazy, but I feel like Jim got that.
Unfortunately.
Jim who?
Jim Matthews. I think he could take Randall.
You think Jim?
Yeah. Because you got to think, this man is basically your wife's work husband. Your kids are always around this man. They be going on adventures together, solving puzzles and stuff. And what you doing? That hurts a man's pride. So I feel like he's gonna dig deep down.
And if that's the case, why don't you just you two-piece him any chance you get though? If that's the case,
right?
So,
I'm like,
so no, because like I ain't gonna. My wife on her own business, so I don't have to worry about that. But if if I was in a situation like that, it's gonna be like, nah, bro, we got to catch square now. And then if I don't get this one, we're gonna catch a square again. Because at some point you're gonna be scared of me. Like you ain't gonna even talk to me. You're gonna avert your eyes and you're gonna find another job at some point. So
yeah, let's be honest. No one can stand Jim. Boyd, I think he tolerates him. Jay don't like him.
Jim don't have them hands like that, man. He ain't about that life.
Jim is just so unlikable.
Like he boasted up when he was talking crazy to Tabitha, but that was it, you know.
Yeah.
And she still stood up around with him.
That's a good point. Like he'll talk crazy to Tabitha.
Right. But she was giving it as good as he was trying to give it too. So
she was eating him up. Yeah, she was.
Look, the only good thing that came from Jim from this episode was him basically telling Tabitha that those things they know things about us, and that kind of sent a chill down my spine when he said that. Like they know things about us.
because he be talking loud.
Yeah, that last argument.
Well,
break it up.
Jim be out there yelling, and I'm like, RJ, to unpack what you said, talk about, well, his kids are always around Jade. Well, maybe Jim, if he was around your own kids, they wouldn't be around
instead of
some
yelling
other
for
man.
him, talking about where y'all at.
Exactly.
Right.
You
He
can't
was
like
bad with that.
Julie was the first one to read Jim to filth when Julie was like, "Where you going? You ain't never here." This is the same thing. I gotta be the parent to Ethan because you're never here.
She had a point.
That's true.
Which is
they had a nice little knockdown drag out in front of everybody, and she was like, "Bro, like you're not gonna tell me what to do."
Yeah. Before we move on to the next thing, RJ, remember how you were always talking about Kenny's jeans, his pants? Oh. Well, Jim, did you see Jim's pants?
No, I didn't. I didn't see them. They were bad.
Them things were tight. He wouldn't have won no fight that day. He wouldn't have won no fight that day.
His pants would have ripped.
Yeah, I'm like, I was telling Jay, I was like, can he breathe in that? You see
That's
what
why he was so mad. That's what he had.
Yeah, go back and watch that episode. Them pants. I don't know why he was trying to read Jade for filth. Because if I was Jade, I would have had some material that day.
We were right for the pants.
Yeah, them pants. I was like, oh my God.
Yo, that's funny. But that is a good segue into Jim never having his kids. Because Julie takes Ethan to the threshold, which is, the title of the episode. And so they go into the threshold and she has a seizure, and that's where she kind of like time travels at. So it's like, I don't know. Was that the same place where Sarah went with Boyd that time?
That's when they separated, I believe. And then Boyd ended up in, I want to say, if I have it right.
In the well?
Ended up in the well, yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess Julie was the one that threw down the rope for him that whole time.
Yeah, I think that was, everybody was shook.
How did he end up in the well again? I don't remember. How did Boyd end up in the well?
He went through the faraway
tree.
Okay, and that's how he ended there. So there's so there's physical transportation and spiritual ghost. We call that.
I don't get it then.
Because astral
Desiree
projection, or what we talking about?
Yeah. Is it astral projection?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait a minute. When Mariel and her terrible hairstyle and Randall, Clandle, and Julie go into seizures, they were chained, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that chaining of those three happened in the past or the future?
I have no clue and I have no opinion.
That's what I was trying to figure out. And that's why I can't stand time travel. I've never been good with that.
That's what I was about to say, because Desiree mentioned that Julie threw the rope, which we finally found out this episode that she threw the rope. So at this point, I'm like, was she still seeing a vision of herself throwing the rope? Because in the episode, it showed us her throwing the rope. So I'm kind of confused.
Right.
I'm sorry, these comments.
Is this kind of like everything everywhere all at once, where everything is simultaneously happening?
Because now I'm misremembering. I don't know if I heard the rope hit the ground when she threw it, because I know. Yeah, so that I don't know. I'm a little thrown by that one. I would maybe have to revisit it to kind of catch that again. I was shocked that it happened.
Wait, what'd you say?
Julie was in the tunnels as well, right?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Speaking of tunnels, why don't we throw why don't we throw Jim in the tunnel by the way he was acting? Because I know you guys talked about that already, but Jim, don't ever do that again.
The worst.
Yeah, he is.
Take the box to the tunnel and leave the box in the tunnel. Like, problem solved.
Ooh, dang. That'd be good.
That'd be great. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I I'm confused now. I thought, see, that's what I love and hate about the show. Like we got answers, but now I'm more confused because when was this?
That's my thing. That's my biggest question.
Yeah, that's gonna be a key thing though, because if you know the where, or you know where we are in time, that makes more sense with how things progress going forward.
Dawn Darko time traveling, another time split. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I've never been good with time travel.
That's why I was so confused with Endgame.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where you can you weren't confused.
Yeah, Jay wasn't confused. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the whole time travel thing, the only thing I would say, hey Shayna, I would say with this show specifically, I don't think they should jump around too much in situations like that unless it's already something that's explained, because it doesn't take us away or out, you know, the audience out of the picture. But I feel like it really just doesn't continue the focus of like Elgin's story, and he hasn't even had a lot of questions that have been answered yet.
Yeah, there's so many moving pieces right now that we don't really have the answers to, for them to be throwing time travel into. It's just too much.
Yeah, because like what bothers me is that you went all the way back to like season 2, like the beginnings, what it seems like from that moment, and that's so long ago, you know. And I just feel like that's a moment where it's kind of hard to remember things too, and to be able to let Elgin, he had all that time for things to be explained, but we're here right now, season 3, so.
Well, I feel like even with the time travel, I don't think it's that far. I don't think it's that much of a difference, because, and I'm only assuming that because the people aren't aging throughout the scenes, like the people aren't aging. So I don't feel like it could be a 15-year split in between scenes, because Ethan would be a teenager and Julie would be an adult. And I feel like there would have to be like a definite change or maturity in characters for that to happen.
Yeah,
because
they're making the audience work.
Yeah.
Well,
like I'm clocking in.
They did say that the answers to the end are in the beginning, and if you go back, and if you go back and watch the first episode, Ethan is telling a story about like the Chromonocle or something like that, and this kind of ties into what Tamon said about it being a quest, and so maybe this is Julie's part of the story, is to be the time traveler and to kind of like maybe, I guess, right wrongs, or you know, I don't know. That's just what I was thinking when, like, now that we're talking, it's kind of all piecing together for me.
Yeah, but Tilly mentioned that too. Tilly said something about the end being, or you know, whatever quote you just used. It's coming back to me that she had mentioned that as well, and which is why I say I don't know. She had to have seen her death coming.
RJ, I still think that's valid though, because you know, Julie might be the pinpoint to something with that whole situation as well. But I think still we need to see something from Elgin.
Yeah. Time is not linear, even in our reality.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
Time confuses me.
Oh God, no, not alternate timelines too. I can't.
Oh man.
I can't.
I told you I can't do time.
Yeah.
All I know is that we never have enough time, or at least it seems like it. We don't have enough time in a day.
That's all I know. I can't. I can maybe follow along with like one timeline, but when we throw alternates in,
they gotta start closing some loops.
They do.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
They're adding too much in.
And I really feel like that's what they were kind of trying to do with connecting the rope throwing deal, and I think they were trying to do that, but they were also forcing people to have to go back and try to see if they saw something before.
Yeah, it forced you back to season 2, and it's just too many subplots. I think you can't. It's hard to introduce so many subplots without any answers whatsoever, and you keep piling on new stuff just from the audience's perspective.
Yeah, you leave too many threads.
Yeah.
They got 2 episodes to help us unravel it.
So my fear is they start trying to push fast forward, and they start doing this thing where all of a sudden they hope you forget about this plot point. Forget about that, and then you're sitting there like, nope, I was waiting on that, and y'all didn't do anything. What are y'all doing?
Exactly.
So I fear that a lot with 2 episodes.
And like you said off camera, Joe, like with Lost, like they've never explained a lot of the things from Lost. So I hope that, you know, because they, of course, they have it planned out, but anything can happen in Hollywood. So they could, you know, say, hey, 5 is your last, but they have 3 more seasons of stuff that they have to fit in to like another season. So God forbid that does happen. I'm just worried that they're going to rush through stuff, and then we're not going to get answers to things that happened in season like 1 or 2, because we're really just now getting answers from season 1, and we're in season 3.
Right.
And
But
they try to give it all to you.
Good.
Yeah. They try to give it all to you and previously from.
Yeah.
So
previously,
and then you're sitting there like, no, you can't do that. That's we leave that to power to do that, because they do that all the time.
Yeah.
I like what Shayna said there.
Shayna's right about that. No one actually. Well, how can someone explain if Victor was the only one there? Technically, like Victor would have to explain it to us, because I mean, looking how Victor aged, I think it's like we guesstimate it might be a 30-year jump from when everybody passed away in the town to where Victor is now. But my question is, did we ever figure out how long Victor was alone by himself? Did we figure that out before the next person came?
Specifically, no.
Or who was the first person that came after Victor was alone by himself? Who was the first person
survived? Because people probably
that's my question.
Died.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing we don't really know. We just know that Victor we just see him at a young age. We don't know the time gap or the difference, how long he's been there. But I feel like there's still that part too. That's a good point, because I've been thinking about that too. Who also besides Victor has been there the longest, and who, as RJ just mentioned, passed away there?
Yeah.
Can't even remember what
he happened. We don't know who died.
She mentioned that because he's an unreliable storyteller. He doesn't know how to get his story straight. He's always like, oh, well, no, I went downstairs and then, oh, wait, no, sorry, I was upstairs. And it's like, oh my God, Victor.
Yeah. Even getting Jasper to talk was a whole thing for him.
Because at some point, I'm not about to drag this out of you. We're going to have to figure this out without you, man. Like, you wasting my time.
So is there any significance to the bottles and the numbers in the bottles? Because that's where I started. They lost me with that. I was like, okay, y'all gonna throw this out here and then not say anything else about them, or are we supposed to understand how they correlate to? Because they have to have some kind of significance.
They do, because Miranda had the well, there was the original bottle tree in the real world that Miranda liked, and remember, she made the copy in her backyard.
Okay.
So I feel like there has to be a correlation to the OG bottle tree to now there's bottle trees and because that's not something that just a bottle tree is not normal, right? So I'm like, there has to be some type of correlation. And I think I said this before, I think where they went wrong was, I don't think they were supposed to take them numbers out the bottle tree. That could have been why Dale ended up in a pool and not in the south of France.
So coordinates type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then it begs the question of, if he wasn't supposed to take it off of the bottle or out of the bottles from the bottle tree, is there a direct correlation between the bottle tree and the faraway tree? Because didn't he go through the faraway tree and that's where he ended up? Or was it the bottle? No, he went through the bottle tree. He went through okay. So then for Victor, who again is an unreliable storyteller, he doesn't always know where that faraway tree leads versus that bottle tree.
But I think that does tie into what 23 says is the PTSD and the trauma. So he's not really remembering a lot of stuff either. You know, he can't remember it.
What did he say about the was it Victor that said the children died there and they were born there?
Yeah, that what was it?
The Uncoe kids.
Yeah.
Coey kids.
They were sacrificed, but I think they were sacrificed by the monsters.
I think it might have been their parents, because Victor said it was loved ones.
So here's my theory. I feel like there is the monsters, there is and then there is the villagers, the village people, right? And Cooley kids were the children of the village people. The village people knew about the monsters, and I mean, I don't know nothing. I'm just talking. This is what I assume. Okay. The village people knew about the monsters, and that's why they had those totems up there to protect themselves from the monsters, right? And at some given point, perhaps those totems no longer worked anymore, and they didn't have like talismans or anything like that. And to me, they seem like maybe people who were spiritualists or close to the earth. I don't know, that they might believe in some type of dark magic. I don't know. That's what they were, Huts. So I'm thinking there's something going on there. So maybe similar to a Game of Thrones type vibe where they had to sacrifice Princess Shireen to get to the end. So maybe they had to sacrifice the children to save themselves. But then I'm like, how did that pan out? Because none of y'all are there anymore.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know.
That's valid though, because if you think about it, with the magic situation, there's still like, besides like the loops and stuff, there's the talisman represents them not coming in. They can't do anything unless like somehow they can. But the something is induced into like, you know, or fused into that talisman or somewhere is like the main frame of where like all this magic is coming from. And it could be either somewhere like in that motel or somewhere off, like where like the main source is that is connected back to that other type of energy. I don't know.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's valid though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they probably parents, people who love them. Okay, they did say that. You're right. But when they did the autopsy on the monster, wasn't it determined that the monsters had
once human?
Yeah, once human. So that's why I think they might have, you know, been human at one point.
That's interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because the people lived there. I mean,
more parents than Jim.
Terrible parents, yeah.
What up?
Hey. But yeah. See, more questions. More questions.
Yeah. Well, one thing we didn't talk about, well, we kind of touched on it, but Boyd finding like Tilly's body.
Or leaving people to find Tilly's body.
Yeah, leaving people to find the body.
Oh yeah, because they got up out of there.
I didn't like that.
That's boy energy.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that. He was like, let somebody else find a body. I'm like,
well, he was trying to get a head start.
He was.
Yeah. Once they determined that, you know, it was time to bounce, they was like, yeah, we got to go. We ain't got time to try to hide the evidence.
It kind of made me side eye him, like, you done this. Like,
I'm kind of with both of y'all because I feel like I lost a little respect for him on that because you did a straight up lie.
Liar, pants on fire, like straight up.
Yeah, like I get trying to save your son, but lying for Fatima, who is a likable character, yes, but going to that extent to letting people find, you know, the body, I felt it was a little bit disrespectful to Tilly and who she was.
Yeah,
at least. Yeah. I don't know. It's as if she meant absolutely nothing to him, and yet his whole thing is making sure that all the people of the town are safe. And you know, I don't know. It kind of made me feel some type of way.
And then you feel like the performance of a lifetime, like just a liar, man. Like
the actor was acting for real.
Yeah.
And then to
walk the road and see if there's any new arrivals. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, you know what? Let me touch on this though, because Desiree, you said his job is to protect all the people of Fremville. That's not true. I don't think, at least, because remember back in season 1, it's still split colony house and town, right? Yeah. Boyd's job was to spearhead the town people. Donna's was to spearhead the people in colony house, and Boyd really never got himself mixed up with what's going on at colony house. And Tilly was a colony house.
Oh, right.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because it's like, well, the energy he had for DaCosta and what she did to Nikki, who lived in Colony House, his energy was very like
he was projecting. I feel like he was projecting in that scene. Like I feel like Boyd was projecting.
But then he was like, you know, that basically showcased him being, you know, for the people. And why did you do this? Why'd you do that? It was just very weird energy. And then all of a sudden when Tilly dies, it's kind of like, yeah, we found her. I don't know.
Yeah. And but I think too that I think Boyd looks out for everyone.
That's what he runs off of, at least.
Except Randall.
If he had a campaign, of some sort, that's what he would run off of, is, you know, being for the people.
That's
except Randall.
Except when
You're never gonna forgive Boyd for that, are you?
Because I just feel like Boyd picks and chooses, and Jay, I don't mean to cut you off. Because remember, Dale stabbed his son, and Dale wasn't. Boyd should have caught a body for that. Like Boyd should have caught a body after Dale stabbed his son. Like that's your son.
Everybody ain't Sarah. I'm just saying, Sarah would have been over.
Well, he should have called Sarah to catch the body. Like I don't know. Like the streets need a body for when Ellis was stabbed, and the streets didn't get their body. And I still feel. And the fact that he left Randall out to die, I just kind of feel like. Listen, and I feel like the writers wanted me to stick to this point, or wanted us to stick to the point, because it zoned in on Boyd with his hands on the steering wheel. It's like, then it's like, well, let's get into the house. Like,
yeah, but you know what? If I think that was a huge mistake that Boyd made. I don't know. I feel like there's mistakes.
He gained an enemy.
Also, him. I don't know if I could sleep at night personally. If I knew someone killed someone and I just, said, let them find the body. I don't know. I thought he was a bit better than that. But then again,
I think the emotions of it started catching up to him pretty quick, because you're dealing with your son, and never flat out say, but you're thinking about your grandchild, all of a sudden. But that's what I'm saying though. But just emotionally, you're going like, yo, I gotta preserve, whatever they got going. So let me get out of here. Let me get them out of here, because he don't have time to make up anything to explain what they saw or what happened.
I think we need a new leader. I said it last time. I think it's his time to rest. He needs to be in his Black woman era and rest, and let somebody else.
His soft man era.
Soft era. Yeah. Go ahead and rest, Boyd.
I mean, hell, even Donna said, people lost faith in you, man. So I think it's time to hang up the coat. And it's okay. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you're weak.
Hang up the coat. Yeah. His little blazer.
Put the blazer on the rack.
I was going to say, that thing got holes in it like you got shot or something, man.
The Millimovs got to it.
That man holding on to that blazer.
He's holding on tough. Like, come on, turn in your badge. It's okay.
Whatever Fatima's having, I don't think it's gonna be good. I think it's either gonna bring them out, which I doubt it, or it's gonna kill everybody. It's not good.
Yeah. Therefore, they need to listen to her. They really need to listen to her.
So, is Fatima supposed to deliver the baby that's not in her stomach, or how is this working?
I don't know.
You have to ask Elgin in his camera.
Right, because I'm like, how is this supposed to work? Because she having contractions, cravings, all type of stuff. So I'm like, is she supposed to deliver?
Elgin's getting the blood ready, so it's like, is it coming soon?
He's the father, I feel.
Ooh.
Oh, twist.
Elgin's gonna be pissed.
Very twist.
So now that we kind of covered everything, we kind of got how we felt about certain things. I want to get you, because I forgot to do this last week. I think I was just so ready to get off. I forgot to do this last week. So let's do this week. Let's rate the episode 1 through 10. We'll start with our guest, G. What'd you think? 1 through 10.
So just being pretty honest about it, I struggled because I felt like they were going to leave a lot of threads. So the way it ended kind of gave me a little hope that they were gonna, they're gonna try to actually figure out something good for us, coming. So for me, I'm gonna go about a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Dr. J, what'd you think?
Actually, I want to say this, among all things, this was one of my more favorite episodes. So I'm gonna give it an 8, because I've given a couple of them a 3, but I'm gonna give this one an 8.
Yeah, you have. Yep.
I'm gonna give this one an 8 because I feel like we're finally getting somewhere. We're getting some answers. It wasn't a waste of 49 minutes. So I feel like it's a solid 8 for me, and I feel like it's a building episode, but they also gave us enough timeline, answers, trajectory, and kind of like what's to come. So.
That's a good point. It's a well-rounded episode. And y'all in the comments too, drop what you thought 1 through 10. Desiree and Jay, what y'all think?
For me, a 7.5. I think it's a lot better than what we've seen this season thus far, and hopefully episodes 9 and 10 will be bangers.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. I would probably say like 7.8 because just the Elgin stuff is just kind of irritating me a little bit right now. But I still think I do have to agree with Dr. J. I think it still was a good episode rather than the other ones, because the other ones kind of, they didn't feel like fillers, but they just didn't really give us a lot.
Yeah, I see what y'all saying. I'll go smooth 7.5. I like the fact that we got answers, and like what you said, Dr. J, we also got trajectory, but that could also be a bad thing because what it did is we got answers, but we got more questions. So it's like we're not any closer to seeing the end. But it wasn't a bad episode. There definitely have been some slower episodes, so I can appreciate what they did this episode and giving us answers. So I appreciate it. It wasn't a bad episode. 9 and 10, I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I can't wait to just, when this is over, I can't wait to just finally be able to say everything. Y'all gonna love it. It's an amazing rest of the season. Before we get out of here, we're gonna let our panel tell you where you can find them at. Damn. G, where can they find you at, and what do you have going on your platforms?
Just trying to pump out these reactions, TikTok and Instagram. G saw that. Just steadily trying to grow it. I'm gonna try to stop taking all these breaks. I watch a bunch of stuff and then make no content. So I'm trying to keep it going. So yeah, you can see it on there.
Okay. And Dr. J, where can we find you at?
You could follow my personal page on IG, Twitter at Jamazing, and my podcast page on all the platforms at On Therapy Podcast, and we're also streaming on every platform as well. So,
okay. And Desiree and Hero Harrison, where can we find y'all at?
Desiree Geraldine on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I actually posted on Instagram. Yay!
I just made a YouTube channel. I had to revamp it again, but YouTube is Hero Harrison Talk. I do comic book content, and same thing, TikTok and Twitch. TikTok's my main content where I throw up all the content. You can find me there. Same thing, Hero Harrison Talk.
All right. And you can find me at the Silver Site on most social media platforms. Look for purple. 9 times out of 10, that is me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had a great discussion. I had a great time dragging Jim for roughly an hour and 20 something minutes. Always a pleasure letting Jim have it. Worst character, worst husband, worst father, worst everything. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to return here, same time, same place next week. Later.